When I first started playing guitar, I did it because I wanted to play and sing my favorite songs. But I kept running into the same issue. Some of my favorite songs weren't in the right key for me. So that meant changing keys. And at the beginning, I didn't know any better than to just bring the capo up until eventually I hit that key. Well, that meant that sometimes when the key of the song that I needed to sing into was only 2 half steps down, I brought the capo up 10 half steps, leaving half of the guitar unusable and me playing the song in a super high pitch on the guitar, and it just didn't sound as good or pleasurable. So today I want to introduce you a framework to help you change between the 12 keys more easily and without running into this issue. Let's get to it. So what do we need to then change keys? Well, we will need a capo, and we will need 2 scales. We'll need the scale of C major and the scale of G major. If you're not familiar with the major scale, I have another lesson that I go in more depth into it. But basically, I will give you all the 7 chords that belong into the scale, and through there, you'll be able to replicate any of the songs in an easier way. So let's start with the C major scale, okay? The chords that you get from the C major scale are C major, 1, D minor, 2, E minor, 3, F major, 4. You can also do this, but if you can do bar chords, maybe you're not in this lesson. You can do G major, 5th chord, A minor. The 7th we're not really gonna use, but it's a B half diminished, and then back into the C, okay? Now, the G major scale. For the G major scale, we start with our 1 chord, G, then our 2 chord, A minor, our 3 chord, which will be B minor, that if you can do a bar chord, you can do it in this way, but if not, let's just play it like this. It's the easiest that I can do for you without the first string, without a bar chord. So B minor, then C major, 4 chord, D major, 5 chord, and then E minor, 6 chord, and then we're not gonna use it either, but F sharp half diminished as the 7th chord. So now we have all 7 chords in both scales. Why is this important? Let's take, for example, the 4 chord song that I taught in a different lesson, where you have the chord 1, then the chord 5, then the chord 6, and then the chord 4. Well, let's say this key is not good for you and you want to sing it 3 half steps up. Well, with the capo that's extremely easy, right? We go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 half steps up, and we put the capo 1, 2, 3 half steps up. And now we can play the same song 3 half steps up, right? Now the issue is, if we want to go, instead of playing it in G, we want to play it in F, right? And then we run into the trouble of not being able to go backwards. Well, if you know your scale, you know you have your G here as well, right? And then you can now think in the key of C and just go, okay, we have G, 1, 2, 3 half steps back, and then you put your capo here. And now we're gonna think in terms of numbers and play the same chord progression, but this time using the C major scale, so the C framework. So chord number 1 in C, it's C major, then chord number 5 in C, it's G, then chord number 6 in C, it's A minor, and then chord number 4 in C is F major. So you see, now you've transposed the song 3 half steps down without having to, let me just show you how that would look like if you just keep going forward with your capo. So you have G, right? And to be able to play it in E major, within the G scale, we would have to go all the way up here to E. So we now are on E, 3 half steps below, and how uncomfortable is that? And you see, it just doesn't have the same tone, right? Will be a lot more practical and nice to just play it up here. Already feels a lot better, right? So this is the idea of today's lesson. It's knowing well your 2 scales, C major scale, the G major scale, and then using your capo to aid you into changing the keys. So instead of just randomly searching for it, you actually use this framework to get to it in an easier way. Okay, so now you might be wondering, okay, but how do I know which key do I have to change to? And my best tip for you in this sense is sing the song, right? Go to the part where you sing the highest note in a melody and try to realize, am I struggling to hit it? Meaning the range is a little too high for me? Or am I singing it too low and it doesn't carry the energy that I want for it to have? And according to that, if it's a little too high for you to hit it, you probably want to bring your capo down, bringing your key a couple half steps down. And so for that, should you know as well? So like I showed you, I know I have this G here and I know I have this G here. So my tip for you is memorize well to start with your string number 6, where are your notes, and your string number 5, so that you can easily see, okay, this is my G and this is my G. Now, the other thing that you need to keep in mind is when I play this G, this is a G because this note on the bottom is the G. That's what gives my chord the name. And for C major, this is my C because this note here, it's C, and that gives my chord the name. So if I want to play the C major, or if I want to play a G major starting on the 5th fret, then I should know where my G is, and I can put the capo just above it, above that, because we need to imagine that the capo is just replacing the nut. So that will be as if it's the open strings. So that's what we're replacing with the capo, and it's important to visualize it that way. Alright, let me just clarify how you can visualize better how to put the capo changing keys. So when we're playing an open C, our open strings define where the capo would be. So if we think about it, we have this open E here, right? That is, imagine this would be another fret. That's where the capo would go. And so when you're bringing it up, let's say 1, you'd bring the capo up 1. If we bring it down another 1, you'd bring the capo up 1. So it's important to visualize that, and that would be our open string, right? If we're in the key of G, we play our G here on the 3rd fret, correct? So we have these open strings here, and we'll use the same methodology. So capo is as if it's below, so on the fret 0, open strings, right? And then if we bring it up 1, we put the capo on the 1st fret, and if we brought it up 2, capo would be here. So it's important to visualize that and not make the mistake of putting the capo right next to it when we're playing the G format, right? Because it wouldn't play the right chord. So just wanted to clarify that. Summarizing it, know your 6th string, know your 5th string. That will really come in handy. And then, if you need to go down, just go to the next string and go down from there. So let's say we need to go down 2 half steps instead of 3. You just go G, G flat, and F, you know? And now you can play your song in F. Same thing for C. Let's say the song was in C, and let's use the same progression. 1, 5, 6, wait, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. If we wanted to play this progression, but the song is a little bit too high here for us, and we want to go down 2 half steps and play it in B flat, instead of going all the way up here, what we're going to do is find the C on the 6th string. So on the 6th string, I know I have my C right here, and then I'll go down the 2 half steps, so B, B flat. And now what can I do? I know that my chord number 1, now we're thinking in the key of G, so my chord number 1 is G. I will have to put my capo here. And remember, the capo is now substituting the open strings. So now I can play the progression in the key of G, so chord 1, chord 5, chord 6, and chord 4. And I've successfully transposed the song from the key of C to the key of B flat without having to go all the way up to the B flat in the 5th string, you know? So hopefully this will save you lots of hours just randomly bringing the capo up until you hit the right key. And not only that, will help you visualize the guitar a little bit better, and then in a future lesson we can get into how to visualize this without the aid of the capo as well. I wish someone told me this earlier when I started playing, and it would have saved me a lot of trouble, that's for sure. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is a new YouTube channel, so take advantage of it. Drop messages on the comment section. Let me know what you want to learn. Use me as your private YouTube teacher. I will make the lessons that you need. I'm interested to know what is it that you want to learn, maybe things that have been missing from other YouTube channels, and that I can help you with, or maybe explain it in a simpler way. Please let me know, and have a great one. Thank you for watching.